Welcome to the Virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Hey everybody watching the show. I'm Suzette Veneti, and welcome to the Suzette Veneti Show. Not looking like so much of a hot mess, but trust me, underneath all this, still the hot mess that you love. 1 week off, you just got to come back looking good. That's all. So it is November 22nd. It's 5:03, our starting time. And if you have anything to do for Christmas decorations, wait until after Thanksgiving, please. Be a decent human being. Okay, cool. Let me just pull this up. Told you I'm a hot mess. Just wasn't quite ready yet. But, yeah. Share this link with your friends, because we've been doing this show. This is actually show number 31. So however many you've seen, if you've seen them all, I think I owe you some sort of Cracker Jack prize or something. I don't know. But we appreciate you watching and being here. Even if this is your first show or just your second, whichever it is. We do the show for you guys, and thank you so much for watching. And now, almost there. Okay, we're there. Cool. It's loading. Need a new Chromebook. Told you guys this like in August. Working with what we got. Okay. Out of Rocklin, California, which for anyone not local that's watching, that's about 19 miles northeast of Sacramento where this show is filmed. Anyhow, in Rocklin, Michael Manson, a Rocklinite, has filed a restraining order against his neighbors because the neighborhood children used sidewalk chalk to voice their support for the LGBT plus humans and have even drawn masks and written, "Wear a mask," in the street. Mr. Mason, a grown-ass adult, also a Trump supporter, so, you know, whatever that means, was reportedly crying when he couldn't get the kids caged. He was quoted as saying that cages should be used for all kids, not just the brown ones. That's what Trump supporters say. Okay, I made that up. And Mr. Mason clearly is litigious, so I guess there's a chance that he tried to sue me for libel or slander. So fine, he didn't say that, but I bet he thought it. He can't sue me for that. Also, before he files any court documents, Mr. Mason visibly cries and calls the police. Like, geez, Snowflake, find a safe space. Kateri Schwant gave birth to her 15th child, a girl, at the St. Mary's Hospital in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Her husband, Jay Schwant, was surprised after he and his wife had 14 sons in a row that they had a girl. That's right, 14 sons in a row. No twins or triplets, just 14 births. Birth after birth. Anyway, back to the joke. 14 sons. The sons whose ages range between 2 and 28 are also surprised to suddenly have a sister. Allegedly, Miss Schwant had a veritable baby factory, who is a veritable baby factory, regrets saying 30 years ago that she would keep having kids until they had a son and a daughter. Mr. Schwant wants to keep going and see if they can add more daughters, but of course he does. He's not the human being who's birthed 15 other human beings over 30 years. Not a joke, but Saturday the 14th was the 60th year anniversary of Ruby Bridges' desegregation of her New Orleans school. Most Americans know Mrs. Bridges from her depiction in a Norman Rockwell painting where a then 6-year-old Ruby Bridges is escorted to school by 4 U.S. deputy marshals. Happy anniversary, Miss Bridges. The world needs more Ruby Bridges and more parents like her parents who risked their lives, lost their jobs, and ultimately their relationship, but for the betterment of our country. In sports, Gordon Hayward opted out of the remaining 1-year deal worth $34 million that he had left on his contract with the Boston Celtics. Hayward, who is very pro-white people, opted out of his contract with Boston. I don't, like, if Boston isn't racist enough for you, Gordon Hayward, where are you going to go? That's an old joke. He signed with the Charlotte Hornets yesterday, but it was still a good joke, so I told it. L'Oreal developed a virtual makeup filter for users who want to virtually wear makeup for Zoom or other virtual meetings as we continue to slog through the 2020 work-from-home times / global pandemic. Maybe now Suzette Veneti will look decent on her show. What? Who wrote that joke and put it in? That's not nice. Sacramento, once again, was named one of the worst cities when it came to dating in a list put out by the Apartment List. Honestly, though, this time I'm glad because there's a pandemic. So everyone should not be doing well at dating in person right now. Also, now I know why I haven't gotten a date in like at least 11 months. It's been 11. I'm going all the way back to the start of 2020. You can't stop me. I know pandemic didn't hit, but like we heard rumors, and that's why I haven't gotten a date. It's not me. Okay. No one knows what dripped down from Rudy Giuliani's hair during his recent press conference. No one knew what it was, although that didn't stop experts from speculating that it's a water-based topical coloring in the $8 to $15 range. I'm not surprised that Giuliani can be so concerned with his image that he would use just for men. I'm just surprised to find out that he's concerned about his image at all, because it doesn't look like he is. Yeah. Supernatural wrapped up its 15-year run. Apparently the show realized that we're in 2020 and Supernatural is just not that scary anymore. 2020 is doing a great job being unbelievably ridiculously scary. So they didn't keep going. That's all the monologues. We're going to start off with our regular contributor. I love him. You love him. He's one of my friends. He's a great follow. Follow him on Instagram. We're going to talk some reality TV. Give it up, Bees and Booze, for Clifton Ellison.
Come on. You gotta go by now.
Hold on. It's my fault.
How you doing?
There we go. Hey, Clifton, how are you?
I'm good, good. You know, it's just another wrestling Sunday, so I'm enjoying it in the background while I'm talking to you. But, girl, did you watch The Housewives of Salt Lake City?
I did watch.
Who stood out to you?
Okay, so you didn't see my comment to you, did you?
Yeah, I remember you talked about Jen, the one that was Hawaiian, but she said that the Mormons see her as black.
Well, I think all, you know, they do that like cute little intro at the start.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of them should be like, I wasn't popular enough for New York, and I wasn't pretty enough for LA. I'm too white for Atlanta. So Salt Lake City's where I'm Queen Bee.
I'm a Salt Lake City 9, but an Atlanta 4.
You know what? If that's the case, I think I'm a Salt Lake City 12.
Yeah. It was a lot, you know, between the two getting excommunicated from the church for divorcing and marrying their coworker, but the one that really took the cake for me was Mary Cosby. She is the only black member on the show, and she married her step-grandfather.
Was her? I didn't watch that far into it. I only watched the premiere episode so far.
So her grandmother died, and then allegedly in her will, she said that she wanted to leave her grandfather with her.
No.
What type of girl? I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess. But you know,
is by chance is her step grandfather R. Kelly?
He kind of looks like Professor Klump, but a couple shades lighter. I don't know what's worse, but you know, hey, if you love it, if you like it, I love it. But the funniest part was the main argument of the first episode was, I guess one of the girls, her aunt's legs got amputated and she was visiting her in the hospital, and then she came to dinner later on, and then Mary, who's the one that married her grandfather, step-grandfather, told her that she smelled like hospital. And she started like retching and gagging and everything like that. And it was just this whole big argument over you smell like hospital. And I was just like, you know, usually I don't really watch the non-melanated housewife shows, but this is just giving me the drama that I need right now. I like drama that's not mine. So
and it's like I don't smoke. I was gonna say it's like menthol drama. It's like a low calorie drama. Like you're not gonna
Yeah,
get.
it's
You're
very
not gonna
Virginia Slim's Diet Coke drama, you
right.
know.
You're not gonna get too tight because like real drama, like you might
Yeah.
think about that, but like you smell like a hospital. You're not gonna go to sleep thinking about that unless you're laughing.
That shit was actually pretty funny though. Like,
Right.
like that's a huge insult. What would you do if I hugged you and I said, "Oh, Suzette, girl, you smell like hospital, sis"? Like,
Well, I mean, if I had been at a hospital, it wouldn't bother me. But if I hadn't, I'd be like, oh, and then I would probably change my deodorant and perfume.
yeah,
Quickly.
it was quite the interesting doozy. Now, speaking of celebrities caping for 45, remember how we talked about how Lil Wayne was caping for Donald Trump?
Uh-huh.
Well, guess who got arrested?
Oh. Tell me.
Lil Wayne,
Oh, didn't see that coming.
for weapons and for gun possession. And it's like, oh, but aren't you friends with the person that is sponsored by the NRA and shouldn't he have gotten you out of the...
Oh,
Nope.
and he's a lame duck president now. He can just go ahead and pardon.
Yeah.
So-
So, you know, I mean, like I always say, tap dancing and cooning ain't gonna get you far in life. If something ain't right for you or something or somebody does not respect the melanated people, don't go with them.
Yeah, no, I
You
agree.
know, I don't care how much he paid you or anything like that though, but you know, he was shooking and jiving and now he's shooking and jiving in jail. So we shall see. And what else happened this week? I feel like I'm missing something that did you watch the Fresh Prince reunion?
I haven't seen it yet. We were talking about it in the dressing room today. Do tell.
It was very it warmed my heart to see that the beef between Aunt Viv, the OG Aunt Viv, and Will Smith is finally over. I feel like for us people that were raised and grew up in the 90s, like that was a huge scandal back in the day. You know, you tune into your show and all of a sudden the mom that went from one shade to 10 shades lighter and a whole completely different woman. And then of course, you know, she talked about how she didn't get any work for over 20 years and, you know, but she also went on her YouTube page and said some very, very messed up things about Will. And there was a lot of animosity. And I get it, especially after she said the backing behind it though, but it was just nice just to see that beef finally end and see both Vivs hugging it out and everything. I was just like, oh, my old heart.
So I saw the pictures and it made me happy. Also because I know somebody who went to high school with OG Aunt Viv, but it felt right having both of them. To me, a lot because Uncle Phil wasn't there.
Yeah, it's.
I feel like it would have been a little weird. Like, you know, the picture they would have tried to put like an Aunt Viv on each arm, and that just would have been a little. I don't know. It wouldn't have been as special.
He really you really don't think about it though, but like that is a show that like everybody brought something to the table.
Oh yeah.
And like if you take him out of the equation, I mean, no shade to Will, but Uncle Phil played a huge role in that show. And if you take him out, it's not the same. And I forgot that he passed until I got to the reunion, and I was like, why is he not here? And I was like, oh yeah.
You know who played like a really huge role that probably would be like not. Well, I think maybe he'd be mentioned, but Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Like
Jeffrey too, and he was shady as hell.
He was
like the perfect type of shade. You know, I feel like every good '90s sitcom had somebody that had good shady one-liners.
Oh,
that like the main character wouldn't catch it until like 2 seconds later. Like,
or they would like the nanny had Niles, and like the main character, she knew.
If you locked up Niles, Jeffrey, and Sophia at a dinner table with some alcohol, and just to hear that conversation, just the shit talking that would just be going on in that house. Who would be another good shit talking sitcom from the 90s star? 90s or 80s?
Grandma Estelle.
Yeah.
I mean, no
Grandma
one
Estelle.
really talks shit on Family Matters except her.
Yeah, that was the only person that really got kind of shady.
Right.
Maxine Shaw from Living Single.
Okay.
And then, trying to think, okay, confession, I never watched Friends. Sorry. But
I'm not as basic as everyone thinks, so I'm right there with you. Although
I tried. Quarantine left me a lot of time to really get into or try to get into a lot of the shows that everyone keeps saying, you need to watch this, you need to watch this.
Yeah.
I probably did like 3 episodes and I was just like, I'm not laughing.
Everything I know, the shady one was Chandler, but then they kind of, I've read the words that he was neutered when they put him together with Monica, so I'm not really sure who became the shady person then, if they had one. Maybe Rachel at that point. Probably Phoebe said some things that were like, I can identify with that. She said some things.
Karen Walker. It just came in my head. I was like, there's another shady person, Karen Walker.
She gets a spot at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good to be back. It's so good to see you, and that you look nice and refreshed. You got us a little nasty housewives, the Sacramento side ponytail, looking like you're about to go to the winery and get you a bottle from the most expensive winery in Stockton.
Maybe. I would have Helen bring it up, though. I'm not going down there.
You're giving me, you're going to have your bachelorette party at Badlands Teas right now.
Oh, wouldn't that be a fun brunch theme?
Oh my God. Commission that. That would be a fun thing.
Suzette's bachelorette party?
Yes.
I have been asking for a drag mitzvah for 3. I don't know when I get it. That's the problem. I get it when I deserve it. So.
Well, or we can do it when you're 13 and dog years.
Oh, I mean, that could work.
Because 13 in dog years is what, like 3 or 4 in human years?
It depends on the dog, because the bigger dogs age faster and smaller dogs age slower. So so the drag mitzvah, and for girls you do it at 12, so like even sooner. What I told Apple is when I've reached the point where we can say, you know what? She might not call herself a queen, but Suzette is a queen. Then we can have my drag mitzvah.
Okay.
So
I'll be there with the mazel.
Sort of like video game. Like, okay, now she can death drop. Like, I've done that. Like, maybe that's a check. We're not at doing her own hair. Don't think this wasn't me. But when I get there, it'll be fun, and I think it should totally be a party.
We'll be there.
Thank you.
Rain or snow, or in the cold. I'll be there. Was it cold today?
It wasn't, because we only did the one show at 12:30. We're trying to figure out a good time to do the shows because it's a little cold at 10:30. So we're working on maybe sliding them an hour.
Okay.
Except for this next week, we're doing, because we already have people coming to 10:30 for Pop Icons. So we are doing Pop Icons 10:30, 12:30.
Okay.
Are you coming?
But, you know what? I'm about to check my calendar.
Okay.
Oh, it's a 4-day weekend, ain't it? Which I
know.
can make into a 5-day weekend.
Oh, it is, because of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I'll just tell you that if you don't come, I'll have to tell you to stop right there. Thank you very much. So you might want to come.
You know what? I'm going to send Taryn the email and I'll be there.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got to get going, Miss Suzette. So
I love you. Thanks for coming on.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, peers and queers, that was Clifton Ellison. His information was below him. If you want to support Stab Comedy Theater, right above this pretty little head of mine, that's where you can send money. And we're going to jump to our next contributor. Right now, you can find him doing stand-up places in person. He's doing that. He's also still has his Zoom shows, a show and tell show, and a couple other shows as in addition to his his video show on YouTube. I'm going to get that right one day. Everyone help me welcome Mean Dave.
Hey, hello. Good
Hello.
to see you.
How are you?
There are no, well, I mean, there's some in-person shows, but most of those are being, well, I don't know. They're not like shut down or whatever. Everybody's just not knowing what the fuck to do. They instituted a curfew at 10 p.m., you know, and everybody's sort of wondering, you know, I don't know. I don't really, I'm not a doctor or a governor, so I have a hard time. I had to listen yesterday at a recovery meeting to a guy who thinks that Gavin Newsom should be shot, but thinks that Trump was doing a great job. So I really, you know, like I said, I'm more err on the side of nihilism, where the world can't end soon enough.
If that's the people out there, then I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm not really, it's hard to just tolerate stupidity for, you know, however, I don't mind wearing masks. I don't mind staying home, but I also, you know, I do like going to concerts and stuff. So yeah, the sooner people would get over whatever it is we're supposed to do. The thing that the guy was talking about last night was trying to say that these measures that we're trying to take to curb coronavirus are tyranny. Yeah, he's one of these dudes that thinks that somehow this is like so infringing on our rights, and thinks that it's New World Order, all that kind of crap. And and there was a time when I might have even heard him a little bit, like after 9/11 or some shit, but I have a hard time believing that when there are countries who went through the masks and the measures and all that stuff, and haven't really heard too much about mad dictatorships taking over those places. I hear more about them stamping out the coronavirus than anything else, and and kind of moving along. So as far as all the tyranny is concerned, he still is able to get his orange juice, and we even asked him to wrap up the meeting when he was going on and on about his bullshit, and he went on for another 5 to 10 minutes. So we can't even stop him from his free speech in our fucking meeting. So I don't know what the fuck he's complaining about.
He's a bad comic. No,
it's just one of those things. It seems to be the same. It's one of those things where everybody just has these fear of whatever rights that they have delusions of being taken, and that's their reason for whatever. And then they go out and get more guns that they think are going to be taken from them. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm all for the guns, because the more likely you are to shoot yourself in the head, the more that you have around the house. So I'm all for that shit. But yeah, what was it? There was something that was bugging me. I forget what it was. What's great is when things bother me, I forget about them now.
Oh,
it's so wonderful getting older.
That is pleasant.
You just it's like, what, that pissed me off. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna forget about that shit. Oh, I think it had something to do. I mean, well, it's Thanksgiving this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to be grateful and thankful. And I am thankful for, a hellish year that's just made everybody just really, uncomfortable and all that. And I dig that shit. Cause I don't like seeing happy people. I'll be perfectly honest. When people are happy, that's when I'm like, you know what, fuck this. And so it's been nice seeing like a whole, just kind of just different things here and there, just kind of coming undone. And and then you have I just posted reminding people, like, remember when Donald Trump was going to talk about taking away TikTok and all that, and that was and you kind of forgot about TikTok. And I still see TikTok videos. Nobody's taking away your TikTok. There's that shit again, if somebody's going to take away your shit. No, probably not. No, and so it's a lot of shit just gets worked up in your head. I actually had an argument with somebody this past week who was being rude to me, and I called them on, because then they called me rude for my response. They were sending me pictures. They sent me a picture of a cat. It was a cat thing, and they were saying, yeah, somebody sends me these pictures of their cat every day. And I said, well, don't carry on the tradition. I got plenty of pictures of cats from my cat sources.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, I can't believe how rude you are. I was just so rude. And I said, what? Just because I said in a half joking manner, don't send me your fucking cats? I don't think I was rude. I think it was a perfectly, that's a reasonable, request. And had a 20-minute conversation with them about how, I don't know, it's one of those things, if somebody, if I contact somebody and they're in a bad mood, all right, for the most part, I'll tell and I'll be like, hey, sorry, caught you at the wrong time. Or even if they don't respond, even better. This is somebody who has just a hypersensitivity to every single little thing, because granted, they're also, they're one of these people that works from home, but then wishes they could work in person again, but has a huge fear of the virus. And guess who gets to hear about all of this neurotic bullshit? I do. And that's me being a friend, being of service, listening to someone else's bullshit that I really particularly wouldn't want to hear, but I'm a friend, so I will hear your bullshit, and I won't even give you any. I'll just be like, yeah, that's where recovery helps me, but you're not a drug addict, so you are obsessive as one, and I don't need drugs when I can just read your messages and feel like I'm on them all over again. And so it's nice to have that kind of window into that shit. And then so basically I had to break down how in fact it was more rude to hit somebody up, tell them something or whatever, and then clearly if they kid back, you're kidding. This is somebody who also kids with me a lot, and then I realized, this is one of those people that like, I can bust your balls, but the moment you might say something back, can't do that. And that just seems to be a lot of the state of the world today, and that's why I like seeing everything go to shit, because these are the very people that are affected most by it, the people that it's all in their head. And I sleep fine. I've been sleeping a lot lately. Matter of fact, has anybody else been sleeping 12 hours? No, just me. Good. Yeah, been loving it. So it's good to see Chelsea again. Haven't seen you in a while. Right on, looking beautiful as always. Wonderful. So but yeah, and of course you too, Suzette. You look, yes, with the, it was weird seeing the jacket though. I'm not used to seeing you in the, I know it's cold. I'm pretty sure the Stab Comedy Theater doesn't pay for heating. So I'm pretty sure that's an ice box you got going on over there.
I'm just looking
not just your vagina, but you're kidding.
I'm just looking fancy today, that's all.
Looking fancy today. Yeah. Well, definitely. So, but let's see. Is there anything else to rant about? For the most part, yeah. So there's live shows. They're still doing some live show. I mostly, been doing some Zoom stuff in college. We've been doing some disability shows. Me and Nina G. They've been really fun. Like I said, life's smooth. I'm pretty sure they figured out that the election wasn't a complete fraud, and that they're, that's what I love about this shit, man. 4 years ago, this election was not fraudulent, and then 4 years later, and I love seeing some people point out common sense in all this. It's like, if this was so fraudulent, why did we still have the same, shitheads in certain states that did turn blue? They still voted for Mitch McConnell and some of these other people. It's like, if it was such fraud, you would think that they would do a better job of fraud, but no. So it's just kind of like, it's one of those things. It's like, I'll say one thing for Trump. It does suck to find out that, people don't like you. That's anybody. Even assholes get their feelings hurt. I think the funny thing about it though is, all it would have taken for that idiot to win is just the smallest shred of kindness, the smallest. He lost by such a margin that it wouldn't have taken much for him. All he had to do was do what politicians have done since before I was born, and that is lie. Just fucking lie.
Well, he's He's not a politician, remember? Like, he's different.
Well, no, that's just bullshit. But you know what else is bullshit with politicians? Decency, humanity, that kind of shit. It just the smallest shred of being of appearing that way, not saying that he really is. We all know he's more fucking white power and all that other bullshit thing. But the smallest shred that's the thing is he got white. He's the only guy I've ever seen. He's got white power on his side, and I've seen so many minorities also vote for this motherfucker. I watched this show, The Star Report, on YouTube because it cracks me up. He's the hater from like old Hot 97 shit. And there are more. I did not know there's so many more black folks that were voting for Trump than I was aware of. Mexicans too. Or Latino, whatever, Latinx, all the new labels and shit. Across the spectrum. Asians, Tongans, all kinds of people voting for Trump. And I think it's more because they like just this appearance. They like the, it's why people like Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on they think he's some guy who's like, they just like the wrestling aspect of it, the wrestling persona of it. And whereas Biden represents, boring politics, which I kind of would like. I'm all for. I'm more of the mindset, is what I've been saying. When Trump got elected, I was a child. I used to vote for I used to pray for the end of the world. And then when Trump got elected, I realized, holy shit, there was a God that heard my prayers as a child. That was so long ago. And here we are 4 years later, and Trump couldn't get it done in 4 years. I'm not giving him 4 more years to end this world. If you can't get it done in 4, you're not my guy. So might as well let it slowly rot with Biden, and that's how I like it. So I think that's about it with me. Thank you as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
And you have a great week. I'll see you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too.
This week. Happy and safe and all that shit. Hopefully you get some leftovers.
I would like that. I need to figure out what I'm doing.
The reason to have Thanksgiving as leftovers. So.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
To see you again. All right, you too. Love you. Bye. All right, everybody. Mean Dave's information was on the screen below him, so you can send him some coin if you want, or follow him. Once again, Stab Comedy Theaters is above my pretty little head, so you can send some coin or follow. A lot of good programming here at Stab. This is just one of the shows that happens in this theater. So check it out. Anyhow, we're going to go to a contributor who is always a regular on the show, but she hasn't been here in a couple weeks. And I've missed her, and I know you've missed her. I'm going to get my energy up. Hold on. I've missed her, and you've missed her, and everyone misses her. So she's here. She's back. I love her. You love her. Give it up for Chelsea Bearce.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
So good. How are you?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
I don't trust that at all. That was a terrible delivery. Do you want to try that again?
Well,
How are you feeling? Are you good?
I was gonna say looking good, feeling good, but I was scared of what you would reply with.
What? What?
Me?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to say looking good, feeling good, and then you.
Why not? Because I will tear you to shreds. I mean, I need you to have a little bit of confidence. I mean, have a little bit of self-worth. Okay,
Oh.
That's what I need you to have.
I have
right
it.
now?
I have
Yeah.
it.
How are you? How are you right now?
I'm looking good and feeling good. How are you?
Oh my God, yes, bitch. And you know what? You are looking good and feeling good because I got a message from Heather Weber and Miles Weber, who are watching right now, and they said, Suzette's hair looks phenomenal. You need to tell her.
Oh.
So, you are looking good, bitch. I need you to hold on to that, okay? Just
Thank
have
you.
that within you, okay? Don't let your head get too big, but it can be slightly inflated.
No, it won't get big at all. You missed when I mentioned this to Clifton, but it looks good, but this wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
No, I just let it happen.
Great. Okay, you just woke up like this? I get it.
No, somebody that cares about me made sure I looked nice before the show today.
Who cares? Okay, great. Yay. Exciting. It's so good to see you. I haven't been here in a few weeks. That's absolutely true.
I know. Tell me everything that's going on.
I forgot about this show. So thank you for texting me during Clifton's portion. I appreciate it. I'm not home right now, which is why my Venmo sign is not right here next to my head.
Oh, you're not.
I am at my friend Shay's house. Yes, she does watch this show a lot when I'm on it, and she gave me champagne. So we're doing great. Everything's fine. But yeah, it's been a weird couple of weeks, right? Where did we leave off last time I talked to you? Where were we? Let's talk about it.
Well, I'm having trouble remembering because we talk off air as well.
Yeah.
So
I think the last time I saw you was live in person at brunch when I was on a date with me and Dave. I think that was the last time we spoke.
That was October 4th.
In person.
Oh,
my God. Is that real life?
I don't, Jesse, do you recall?
If I remember correctly, there was talk about flying out to hang out with somebody.
Okay. I was going to say, I know it was after October 4th because you were on the show when Robbie was on the show, and you mentioned Heather, and I was going to say, because she's watching, Heather, I still want to do the show. We still need to have the show, you, me, and
absolutely.
Chelsea.
And me and Heather can absolutely still do that show 100%.
And that was probably 3 weeks ago now.
Oh, that's not bad.
And
okay.
so Jesse, so we did talk about it on air because Jesse remembers. So you were going to fly to Denver for a date.
Yes, and I did. I flew to Denver.
Oh, that's right. And he has custody. We did talk about it. I remember sitting here and talking. So he has custody. Just to recap for the viewers, there's a gentleman in Denver. You did a comedy show. Denver. You did a comedy show. He had nice clavicles. You talked about him. He got stood up.
I talk about all of this. This is so stupid. This is real life. I said all of that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sometimes too honest. Like,
okay, but I mean, who's stupider? Because I'm recapping it word for word. So.
Yeah, you do have a problem. Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay.
Is first of all, you can see this exact interaction that I had with this guy on stage while he was an audience member on the special that Miles Weber and I just released. Oh. By the way, that's the set that Miles chose. He was like, "This is the one that's going on the special," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And it was me talking to this guy. I got flustered because he was flirting with me from the audience. Like, I don't deal with that well. Someone was matching my confidence level, and that's when I'm like, nope, this is way too much. So anyway, from that day on, you can see it at milesweber.com, you guys. There is a link to it's my very first special. I've never put out an entire set of comedy in my life. Can you stop texting and writing something on the? Yeah, you need to focus on.
I was writing to Heather Weber.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, okay. I know. I'm multitasking.
But this is the very first time that I ever put like an entire set out in the world. Okay, so it was a big deal. And I happened to be speaking to this gentleman who, from that day on, have been talking to for hours a day. So. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this leap and go have a first date with him. And I jumped on a plane, went and spent a weekend with him and had a first date weekend with him. Took a COVID test and negative, so everything's fine. But I've never done anything like that before. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I was going to talk about this thing. I thought I was going to come on and talk about how I'm getting through this and how I'm like, not wanting to just drink myself into a coma and not wanting to kill myself. Like, I thought I was going to talk about that today, but it's true. Like, I went on this first date with him, and okay, here's a question: have you ever been in like a long distance, like relationship kind of situation? Have you ever done anything like that?
Started long distance, and I've also done one that became long distance.
Oh, that's even harder. Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in long distance, like in theory, it sounds, when you're not in it, it seems super probable. It's like, this could totally happen. We just have to be this, and this much more than everybody else. And da, 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 da. Like, it seems totally possible. right?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem, it seems, because you're like, I need my space, you need your space, we'll hook up, you know, not like we'll meet up. We'll meet up and hook up, but like, you go on.
But it's also, what it is that what I'm finding is that communication's already difficult in a relationship. Like, communication's very difficult to attain. Someone always is leaving something out, or leaving someone hanging, or not telling everybody, you know, where they're at. Like, there's always some sort of thing lagging. But when a long distance relationship comes into play, the communication has to be so over the top, because that's literally all that you guys have, you know? And so that right now is becoming that's becoming, I don't want to say problematic, because that's such a negative word, but it is becoming quite a challenge.
A hurdle. I said a challenge, a hurdle. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's become a hurdle. Yeah, yes. I thought you said I've heard of it, and I was like, I hope you've heard of a challenge before. But yes, a hurdle, that makes more sense.
I am a challenge. I haven't just heard of it. I'm the president of the fan club.
So it's just becoming like it's becoming more obvious how difficult that level of communication needs to be. And the fact that you want both parties to be at that level it's a hard thing to attain. So that is showing to be the challenge right now. But did I have an amazing weekend with him? Absolutely. Do I want to continue and see a future with this guy? Absolutely. There's no question in my mind. And there was just way too many things that like fit into place for me to be there that weekend, for him to show up to that show, and for us to record it. Like, there's all these different things that fell into place for us to be in that room at the same exact time. It was just way too kismet, you know? So I like where this is going. I have more optimism than I have had in a very long time. And it looks very, it's a very exciting prospect, I'll say. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And for anyone watching at home, I mentioned that Chelsea and Heather Weber and I were going to do a dating show, and it was going to be how to date an entertainer or a performer, same thing. And clearly, like, Chelsea now has a new perspective on it. Not that she hadn't dated before, but this is wholly new for you that you.
No, and the thing is that Heather and I, we would be able to provide different kind of perspectives on this thing, you know, because she is the wife of a national headliner, you know, but then she's so comedically tuned in. She's very, very funny. You know, we gave her a writing credit on this special that we have because she does watch our comedy and she views it from a comedic point of view. And so she helps us write. But I'm also a stand-up comedian, so I've dated from that perspective, but I've also dated a stand-up comedian that was more successful than I was. And so I have that perspective as well, being a stand-up comic who's dating somebody, but also being a stand-up comic who's dating someone more successful than me, or who has more experience than me in that realm, you know? Go ahead.
Are you more successful now than he was when you dated him?
Oh my God, that's such a very good question.
I know, I do that.
I really want to say yes for my ego's sake, but you know what? The reason I will say yes is because he sticks to his area. Granted, his area is like New York City, so it's like you kind of win.
Yeah.
But the fact that he doesn't travel for comedy proves that he stays where he is. Like, he stays in the bubble that feels safe to him. And when I was new to New York, I saw him and I was like, yo, that's a level that I want to hit. But now that I've done comedy so much longer, you know, since our relationship, I'm looking at that and I was like, wow, he was really completely stuck where he was and had no intention of like growing or spreading his wings or doing comedy in a bigger sort of situation where it's more universal, you know?
Settling. He's settled. Yeah, no, okay, well, cool. Then I think you won that. And yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah.
So you do have different perspectives, and I have zero perspective. Just nothing. I'm just going to serve as the every person. Also, I saw Miles put on Facebook that if anyone wants Heather's help writing jokes, she's there. And I was like, me, I do. So
Yeah.
I didn't write it, but I'm saying it now. I'm declaring it.
I have a Facebook group that I started, and it's where you just kind of bring unfinished jokes and we just kind of talk it out. Because that's kind of how Miles and I became friends, is because that's how we kind of communicate. You know, like we just like bring up like premises, but the way that we talk is just kind of workshoppy. You know, we're just always kind of on.
Right.
And so I started this Facebook group, and he's actually been a part of it, where, you know, people log on, we'll start a Zoom meeting where it's just us talking, it's a discussion, and we'll talk about jokes that aren't quite finished. I have this premise that's really funny, but I don't know where I could go. Do you guys have any idea? Because sometimes when you're writing material or you're writing jokes, you're too close to the material, you know? And so if you filter it through a third party, you know, ear, then it's easier for them to be like, hey, you know, you could actually go this way. But because you haven't thought of that, it's like, oh my gosh. So it's just looking at it through a different lens. And sometimes that really helps you just amp up your material, which is, now that I have a special out, it's like, well, now I got to start writing all over again, which is great because it's just going to like work that muscle. And in 2021, forget it. I'm entering all the contests. It's all over. I want to win everything. I want a credit. I want a little logo you can put on my, you know, flyers for every show. It's just 2021. Look out! It's on. It's on.
You're gonna get it because you get everything that you set out for. You do. You're like a very successful pirate.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you're like hardy ho. I'm gonna get that one, and then like sometimes the seas be choppy. Arg. But like,
I don't hate that at all.
You still make it, and you like you're a swashbuckler.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening, but I have good hair, and I've made you laugh and happy.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little drunk, but it's
okay,
fine.
Cool.
And by the way, tomorrow my game show is going to be on at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So please watch Who Wrote This Shit. It's going to be live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. And Miles Weber, it's his birthday tomorrow, and he's going to be on the show. So we're going to have a Miles Weber birthday Who Wrote This Shit show. So be there.
It's funny when you say Who Wrote This Shit show, because
Who wrote this shit show? Who wrote it? Who's the author of this? I hate them.
You are. Unless it's this show, and then it's right on. So really quick recap, what's next with you and Clavicles? Can I call him Clavs?
No, don't do that. His name is Eric. He has a human name. Yes. His name is Eric. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because that's the other thing is, I feel like I'm talking way too much about this, but the other thing is that like he's 43. In 1 month I'm gonna be 40, so it's like we're both at that level where I feel like if we were in our early 20s or in mid 20s, this would feel like it was going very fast. You know what I mean? But because we are who we are, we're both parents, we have both been in relationships, we've both been through traumatic situations with those relationships. I feel like we know what we want, and the games and the like setting all this like paving this way and da-da-da. I feel like all of that we can just kind of not bypass, but we can go through it very quickly, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't need to have the conversation about what your favorite color is or your favorite South Park episode or, you know, which park you like to walk in. It's like, relax. Let's talk about the real stuff, you know?
I do believe that's the exact conversation we had last time you were on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was like you get to skip all the small talk and all the like.
Yeah, just like let's get to the nitty gritty.
You're into the meat.
We're both like mid where we're at in life, you know, and so it's like let's just get to the heart of it, the stuff that really matters, the stuff that's going to really build a foundation for a partnership, you know, like this spousal relationship that we're kind of trying to create. Let's get to that quicker, you know, so it doesn't feel like it's going fast. So I don't know what the next step is. I know that being 40 in a month, I know that I don't want to do a long distance thing long, but we also have we have the children to consider.
Yeah.
And they are definitely the most important thing in the situation.
For sure.
Because uprooting any of them in any situation is going to be, that's tumultuous for kids to deal with. And so we need to be sensitive of that and know that they are going to be our 100% first priority in whatever situation we choose,
Yeah, no, I'm excited to hear more. And also, deep cut for anyone that watched the show, a lot of episodes. I feel like you're taking my destiny by getting with a human named Eric. So thanks for that, bitch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was quite a deep cut.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I know.
First of all, I'm the one who named you Ariel, who doesn't know how to use her human legs. So if anyone's going to steal Prince Eric from you, it's going to be Ursula when she steals your voice. Checkmate.
Well, actually, the version we came up with, I steal your voice. So it only makes sense you would get the Eric.
I got him, dude. I got him.
En
I'm
passant.
going to get married on a boat with a little tiny priest who has a boner that not a lot of kids noticed when they were a kid. And then that's just how it's going to go. So.
And we can look forward to this
Full
musical.
circle. Back to the pirate.
This
Full
musical will
circle,
be
back
written
to the
by
pirate.
your co-producer of Who Wrote This Shit. He's a librettist, Robbie Sandler, and it's going to be a whole show. We're going to be in a show.
Perfect. Beautiful. Cut and print. I'm with it.
Okay, cool. Well, let's work on that other show because Heather commented that she wants to help, and I don't know if that was about talking when you were on the show last or helping me date, but I'm taking it for that. I'm taking it for dating and joke writing. So
I love it.
Okay.
I'm with it.
Well, thank you for coming on. Anything else?
What?
Anything else?
No, I love you.
I
Whoever
love
did
you
your
too.
hair, hire them every single week.
Oh,
because
you know them.
Who is it?
Who would love me enough to say no? You can't go like that. Sit down.
It's either Apple or Taryn.
Oh, it was Taryn. Apple doesn't do hair.
Apple is my only returning panelist on Who Wrote This Shit.
Until tomorrow.
I love Apple. No, Apple's not on, but Miles is, and he's returning. So Apple and Miles are my two returning panelists for Who Wrote This Shit.
That's what I would. That's until tomorrow when you have a second returning panelist, Miles Weber, whose birthday it is.
Miles Weber's birthday is tomorrow. He's on Who Wrote This Shit. That's absolutely right.
I'm keeping up.
Let's give a huge shout out for Taryn, who's making you look like at least $10. I mean, you don't look like $1 million, but you look more like it's more denomination than you usually do. So bravo. Thank you, Taryn.
I will pass it along. I'm sure she's excited to see. Oh, let's talk later. I know when I want you guys to see each other again.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Okay.
Done.
All right. Cool. I love you. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for saying nice things. I will go back to normal next week.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Chelsea Bearce, one of my favorite people. Her information was below her, just like everyone else. It's very consistent on this show. And once again, Stab Comedy Theater's information is above me. And with that, we're going to get to our interviews. I want to make sure we are ready. Okay, we are ready. So this next performer, I have not actually met them. I'm so excited for this. Winner of Season 2 of the Maxx Drag Show. Everybody give it up for Peter Fromage.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's been a good weekend.
That's good.
It's been a good 2 weeks. Yeah, since Maxx Drag ended. It's just kind of all been great. So
Wait, so are you saying it's good because the show's over or just because the world has changed?
both. And it was my birthday.
Oh, happy
right
birthday.
Afterwards. Thanks.
Can we ask how old?
So it's just kind of been a continuous high of good things happening in my life.
Absolutely. That was the first thing I said at brunch the next day after the results. I was like, hey, guys, 2020 is not so awful now, is it? And everyone was like, oh, no, I guess not. I guess it's pretty awesome now. So happy birthday.
Thanks. Yeah, I live in San Francisco, and unfortunately I was working the day we got all the results in, but San Francisco was very much like, you can tell the energy. Everyone was stoked.
Oh yeah.
So that was great.
Right on. Well, what a good 2 weeks for you. And so you were named the winner of Maxx Drag. You earned. I was named the winner. I mean, you were named the winner, but I'm gonna say you earned the win on Maxx Drag. That just sounds like more like you took it and less like it was given. And you had a birthday, and the world got right with an election result.
Yeah, pretty dope.
Was this your first competition show?
It was, yeah. I started drag just over a year ago. My my drag anniversary is on November 6th. So it's been a full year. But I feel like I've done a lot with it, and this was just like a great way to like cap the year off.
Right on. Well, what a cool first experience on a competition show. If it was your first show, where do you usually perform?
So I started over at Ginger's in San Francisco, and I did some performances with Rebel Kings of Oakland. So they're like a drag king troupe, and they're all really amazing and hilarious. And then I actually was in England for a couple of months, so I got to perform in England a couple of times, which was really cool for being like a beginner drag person.
Yeah.
And then I had some friends that were on season 1 of Maxx Drag, and I was like, this sounds amazing. And I am not great with getting things done, so having a deadline was like perfect for my type of getting shit done.
Right on. Who were your friends on season 1? Let's shout them out.
Holden Wood and Clay Torres. And now I've kind of reached out to a few of them afterwards too. But yeah, those were my buddies. So it was cool to support them through it and then kind of go through it myself.
Did they have any tips for you, or did you talk about it with them?
Not so much, just because they're best friends. Like, I'm friends with them, but they had best friends that were in the competition. So I didn't reach out as much because I didn't want them to feel like overwhelmed by it as well. So I would honestly come up with an idea. Like, I would just be thinking about it for 3 days, because we only have 4 days to get stuff done. I would think about it for 3 days, and then that one day just like bang it out and not look back.
That's exactly how I would do it. But like, I don't know if you're anything like me. You wish you could do it like the first or second day and have that second day or the last day not to feel so crunched, but it never works out like that.
No, not with my day off with Tuesdays, and everything was due Wednesday at noon.
Oh. So it worked out perfect with your day off.
It did. The final week we had to do like 3 looks within like a really short period of time. So I did end up like taking an extra day off for that. But yeah, in general, it was like, do I have time to go thrift? Like, let me brainstorm what I want my makeup to look like in this time, and concepts, because I know that they're quite big on like having a concept and it be really readable. So yeah, it's a lot of thinking for 3 days and focusing.
And then execution on the 4th day. Right on. What was it like to, I mean, you don't have anything to compare it to, but this is a self-taped reality show. Did you feel that that gave you an advantage, a disadvantage? Do you wish someone had been there taping and you weren't responsible for your own taping and editing? Or did you like that?
I liked it. I kind of like to do my own thing. But it was really, we did have one challenge where it was a group one. So it was a lot of like back and forth. It's just like my schedule's always so all over the place. So it works for me to kind of to do that. But yeah, working with the other people was really fun. And were you able to watch our video?
Which one?
Uranus Craps Diamonds.
That
music
one
video?
No, I didn't see it. But tell me where.
Okay,
tell me where and tell the viewers.
Okay, it's pretty funny just because Uranus does shoot out diamonds, so we just thought that was hilarious. And we just did Supermassive Black Hole, but all of our looks, Ling Ling, who's amazing, who's over in
Vacaville.
oh my god, 30 minutes east.
Vacaville.
Bachville, yes, Love Ling Ling, did this like crazy alien look that was like way out of her comfort zone. So that was really cool to see. And then like, did you watch Dragula?
I've seen 1 or 2 seasons.
It just felt very Dragula-like. And I don't know, because in the beginning I was like, oh, it's just going to be a competition. And then it was like, no, this is for real. And really fun. I felt like a rock star. So it was pretty dope.
Very cool. Did you learn anything valuable from the process of competing that you can apply forward into your performances?
Let's see. I mean, thinking outside the box and like focusing on one theme of something and just kind of honing in on that, because I feel like way my brain works, it's like all over the place, and I got like 10 ideas I'm trying to squish into like one look and everything, to just like focus on one. So try to get myself a little more organized.
I will say that I do a weekly brunch show here in Sacramento, and that's new for me to perform every week. And I have so many ideas and so many songs and so many like plans and concepts, and sometimes I like to, like, if you can, I like to let one sit on like the back burner. Like, I know I want to do this song, but I don't have a look for it, so let me leave it here where I'm gonna listen to it every once in a while, like literally on a playlist, but I'm not worried about it for now. I'm gonna focus on this one's more complete. Let me flesh this out and put this one up now. So that's something that I've learned to do, because I can identify with being like, oh, I have so many ideas.
Yeah, I started just like a notes thing on my phone where I'll be like, oh, we have a place here called Midnight Sun. Let's go record the song Midnight Sun in front of it. But I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to have time to do that. But yeah, I really want to go to that show. I go to Sacramento a lot because I've got family and friends there. So when I have a weekend off, I will check it out.
Oh, my brunch show?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I can say, I say this all the time, and I mean this, and I'm not fishing for compliments. Not that you have ever seen me perform, so everyone knows. But like, I perform with the best queens possible, I think, and it's a great show because of that. So
I've been going to this Saturday night one at Capitol Garage, and I'm like floored every time. I'm laughing, I'm crying. It's just a good freaking time. Like, I'll drive 4 hours in one evening just to catch the show because it's that good.
Right on. Who's your favorite at the Capitol Garage show?
Ooh, I mean,
you don't have
really
to pick
love
one.
Apple, of course, Mercury Rising, and I mean, I got to see Clive last time. I've never seen him perform live, so that was really cool. And he did like a really powerful number for Transgender Awareness Week, so that was really moving. But also, Alamode is like so cute. I'm just like, I want a little mini version of you to put by my bed. You're so cute. She came out as a Furby. I was like, this is why I love drag.
Fair enough. I can say that unfortunately they're having to stop their show, but they're looking for a new venue. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah, you'll be able to still catch it. So you are a self-described drag thing. What is a drag thing?
It's just a way for me to not have to feel like I need to do this sort of style of drag all the time. It allows me to kind of go back and forth and explore a little bit more, because generally, like, I love like a big, wig and all that, but it's harder to find more like masculine looking wigs with that type of caliber. And a lot of people actually don't even make them as much. Like, I'll look at people who are making wigs. So I do like to just wig shop all the time, but I don't want it to be like, oh, this is, a long flowy wig, I need to wear a dress or whatever. Like, I kind of like to take elements of anything I want and just piece it together and call it what it is. I was identifying mostly as a king in the beginning. And then I kind of was like, I kind of want to be able to explore, like, in Tarot-bang, the dragon is a Muppet. Like, I would love to be a Muppet at some point. So it kind of just opens up the door so I don't feel like I need to be that one thing all the time, which makes it harder that I don't have, like, as much of a distinctive look all the time. I do have some things that I do all the time, like my little nosy. But besides that, I like the flexibility of going anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, I can see the allure of that. And I'm sure as you do it, you'll be able to find, like, you have your nose, but you'll be able to find something that you can kind of carry through, you know, where people will say, oh, there it is. And it'll tie it all together. So very, very cool. So anybody can be a drag thing then.
Yeah, it's really open, and you can kind of take whatever elements inspire you. Like, I feel like I get inspired a lot by, like, kind of cowboy looks, like with fringe and, you know, the bolo tie and hats. But I also have access to a lot of, like, animal bones, kind of weird. My friend has a rescue, so they're all found, like, humanely and everything like that. So I've been exploring, like, doing, like, props and stuff with the bones, but I don't necessarily consider myself, like, into, like, gore or horror as much.
No, but that was really cool. Thank you for showing that. Like,
yeah, thanks. That's a little, like, bearded dragon skull, which a lot of people probably have never seen.
No.
Yeah.
I have not. I've heard of bearded. I don't know if I don't think I've ever seen one in person, but very neat.
Thanks.
So the episode that I judged on the Maxx Drag Show, you, and I think, please educate me. I'm coming at you from a place of ignorance. You were a different character. Does that go hand in hand with being a drag thing as you explore, you know, being a Muppet or being a king, or do you always feel like you're the same character, just in Muppet form or king form?
Were you doing the drag switch challenge where I was Diana Hole?
I did the roast.
Oh, the roast. Oh, that was so much fun. Yeah, because I was Clive's mom, Alma Stare, like almost there. I just had watched a lot of roast and seen a few that were like people came out in a character, and it felt like it would be less of like me kind of, you know, talking shit versus like, oh, it's a character. It just felt easier to do it that way. I come from a theater background. So I started doing the accent, and then it just kind of stuck, and I was like, I'm just going to be Clive's mom. And if I can make that funny, it'll be great. If I fuck up, it's whatever. It's not me. It's Peter, or, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. I mean, it wasn't part of the rubric for scoring, but I super enjoyed that you had I was like, I didn't know Clive was Jewish. His mom's Jewish. The accent, like, that's a very like Brooklyn Jew accent. Like, apparently Clive is Jewish. Okay. So did that just come out? Like, you said you did theater, so that's how it seems to work. Like, you don't sit down and say, I want to do this voice. You just kind of, you're like, the spotlight turns on and a voice comes out and you're like, oh, didn't know. There it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. I was like, what would a mom be like? Jewish. And just kind of wanted to be a little over exaggerated. I never met Clive's mom, so I had no idea what she was like. I didn't know if he was Jewish or not. I just kind of thought that it would be funny. I actually just did a Borat one too. So I guess I do like doing characters. I didn't even like realize as much, but yeah.
So how many characters have you done? Do you know?
Well, yeah, I just did this one Borat where he's like going around Castro in San Francisco and just like talking about you know, oh, this is where the gays eat, and it's like at the sausage factory, and kind of like that little bit of Borat ignorance, but just like funny at the same time. So I'll send you the video, you can watch it.
I would like that. Where is it posted?
And
Let's tell the viewers where it's posted so they can also.
It's on my YouTube.
Okay.
If you just look up Borat in San Francisco Castro, it should pop up.
Okay.
Or if you send me something on Instagram, I can definitely send it over.
Okay.
But we had to do Snatch Game, which I was like, had no idea who I wanted to do. I ended up doing Steve Irwin.
Okay. I can see that.
Which was fun. Because I was camping in the middle of the Nevada desert, and I was like, what character am I going to be? And originally I planned to be like the fly that was on Mike Pence's head. And just kind of be like, oh, it's my shining moment. Like, I'm famous now. And then I chatted with Kevin about it, and he was like, you know, it could be good. So I went with Steve Irwin instead. And my friend had this funny idea because he's like the crocodile guy. We all had Crocs. So we would like pull the Croc out to be my like big Croc. And I literally like peed myself laughing because I thought it was hilarious. We were also drinking a little bit of Fireball, so that may have helped.
Oh yeah,
but
that's a risk when Fireball and me get together. So that's a really funny idea. I want to watch that. Also, you mentioned Kevin, the co-producer of Maxx Drag Show. So I just wanted to make sure anyone watching that isn't familiar with the Maxx Drag Show knows that it has 2 producers. So.
Yeah, I nicknamed Kevin the Groundhog because he would just like pop out all the time in the video, and then he'd like disappear again. But he's lovely, and he goes to a lot of the shows over in Sacramento. So if you're there, you've probably seen him around.
So, being a drag thing, what is important? Why is it important for more drag things to exist?
Totally, great idea. The reason being is like a lot of people only know drag for like RuPaul's Drag Race if they've never been to a show. So they have this idea that that's what drag is. So I have a lot of like people in my life that aren't drag related, and they have asked so many questions because when I say I'm doing drag, they're like, oh, drag queen. And I'm like, actually, no, let me educate you a little bit. And I've also just looked up to a lot of the kings that I've even met because I found a lot of them, maybe I just hadn't seen a gigantic amount of drag, but a lot of them sang, and I'm a singer. So that was also really attractive to me. And just kind of breaking down that like, this is what drag is versus like literally almost anything can be drag. So yeah, the freedom of that's great.
We've talked about that on the show. We had another competition winner, the show that Clive competed in, Into the Draglands. We had the winner, Faye Menon, and we had a pretty lengthy discussion about drag. And I've talked about this with other guests as well, but drag isn't just, one thing. For instance, it's not just a gay man in a sequin dress with big hair. It can be anybody. And what's funny is you tell people that aren't familiar with drag that you're doing drag, and they go to drag queen. I have had to inform and I guess educate so many women that they can be a drag queen if they want. Like, you can be either. You don't have to be a drag king if you're a woman. You don't have to be a drag queen if you're a woman. You can pick. Anyone can pick anything. So,
and there's so many different elements to it. Like, you can do drag and you don't even have to like do performances all the time. If you just want to like dress up and be like fashion person, and that's how you fill your oats, that's dope. So yeah, it's interesting that a lot of people just know this little pin about drag, and they also think that they know everything about it because they've watched, all the seasons. But I actually watched Dragula before I even watched Drag Race. So I was inspired by that to get into drag versus the other way. And I never thought about being in a competition either, but yeah, it was fun. But I was like, that's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of drama. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but.
So more drag things would make it more common and kind of break down the notion that you have to be a specific thing.
Totally. The flexibility of it and the exploration. Because I remember beginning of when I first started doing drag, I did do a lot of the trying to do like realistic drag king, the YouTube tutorial ones. And then one time I just sat down and started like drawing shapes all over my face. And I was like, I love this. I love shapes on my face. And that's how the Peter looks came up.
Right on. Very cool. What advice would you give somebody who not only wants to do drag, but wants to be a drag thing?
I would say, just really think about like what you want to express with it, and just play around a lot and make mistakes, and just really don't think about what you think people are looking for or going to like. Do something that makes you feel good, and be different. Explore being different, because we're already put into so many boxes. We don't want drag to keep doing that.
What's the importance to you of being an AFAB drag performer?
Ooh, great question.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to break a lot of the walls that are put in, the shows that are 95 or not, 100% queens, and show them, we are just as talented and just as interesting and can bring a big crowd, and you should be thankful to have us on your show, because we do bring something just a little different. And also, being an AFAB person, we also just in life have a lot of other challenges to overcome. So just try it out, make friends with people, be really nice, ask questions, and know that you are welcome and that people want to see you. I don't know if I would have started doing as much drag if I didn't. The first time I went, lost my hand, was a drag king competition, and I was blown away. I was like, this is it. So the more representation, the more people will get inspired to do it.
Right on. And I want to, I don't know if we've ever on the show defined, just in case, because we have all sorts of viewers and some might be familiar with AFAB. Would you like to define it, or shall I?
It stands for assigned female at birth. Has nothing to do with your gender identity. It's just that, AFAB or AMAB. You can add anything else if you'd like.
No, I think that's great. It's just an acronym for which gender someone is assigned at birth. And sometimes, like you said, AFAB performers have hurdles, and it's, they can be just as talented.
Totally.
So you have a live show coming up. Is that still happening?
No, it got canceled.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, it was the day before Thanksgiving, but hopefully when numbers go back down, it'll be happening again.
Okay.
I do have some virtual ones, but
tell us about those.
So Diana Hole and Team Polyamory, they have a show on Friday after Thanksgiving. It's a digital show, so you can watch it in your pajamas. And then the other one is the Rebel Kings of Oakland. So if you don't know who the Rebel Kings of Oakland are, look them up. They're amazing. And they give a lot of opportunities to and a range of different types of drag performers. So I can't remember the date on that, but I believe it's mid-December. And I'll probably be singing live. So
Very cool. And people can find that on your Instagram, or probably just search Instagram for the Rebel Kings.
Yeah.
Right on. That is all the questions I have, Peter. Are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Ooh, hold on. Let me take a sip of my White Claw.
Yeah. Claw up.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. What is a drag name that you didn't end up using but you considered?
Oh my God, I don't think I had one. I think we brainstormed Peter Fromage, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
Okay. That's okay. Some people never have a second choice. You hit the nail on the head on the first.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite wig color?
Ooh, blue.
Do you name your wigs?
Not yet.
Okay. If you put on a bra, do you clasp it in front and spin it around, or do you do the unnatural arm thing and clasp it in back?
Oh my God, I've worn sports bras basically the entire time of quarantine. I think I forgot, but I think I usually clasp it and then spin it.
Okay, that's the consensus. Yeah, very few people are back snappers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's done. Like, shoulders don't go that direction. How high is too high for high heels?
Oh my God. Anything that's like this bigger than this, I'm like, no, thank you. And it got to be a chunky heel too. And even that, I'm like 30 minutes and then I need to sit down.
Show me again. Bigger than what?
Like this, maybe like 2.5, 3 inches.
Oh, honey. I don't wear anything less than 6. I don't wear anything more than 6. But I guess I just wear 6. That's what I should say.
Applause to you. I'm scared. There's a lot of stairs in San Francisco. I don't got health insurance, so.
You know what I've always wanted to do is walk up the hill in my shoes, because whatever people say about me, I can walk in my shoes, and I want to try the hills.
I would pay to see that.
I would pay to do it. No, I wouldn't. I would do it for free, and I would accept people paying to see it. Oh, hey, there's an idea, Jesse. At some points we need ideas for fundraisers for the show, and maybe that's what we do. I will walk up hills and stairs in San Francisco in my 6-inch stilettos. Okay, this is about you though. I'm sorry. We just went off on a fun tangent.
No, I love it. I'll help you film if you need somebody in San Francisco.
I won't turn it down. What is your favorite recurring show to perform in? I think you already mentioned, but just in case.
Well, See You Next Time is also one that I really like.
Okay.
See You Next TV is their Twitch handle. It's usually Cassie DeLaCunt and Nitrix Oxide has shows on there, but they put an array of shows, but they do like Encore, which is all musical theater, and I'm such a musical theater nerd. So yeah, See You Next Time TV.
Right on. What's your favorite musical theater song?
Ooh, well, I did Don't Rain on My Parade for the finale, but right now, actually, I'm in Legally Blonde, the musical. I forgot about that because I'm not in drag for it, but it's going to be in January. So if anybody wants to watch that, I'll be posting about that later. Virtually? It's virtual, yeah. Okay. The Legally Blonde person's in England. We have someone like in Belgium, Canada. So it's a cool cast.
Right on. What is your favorite venue to perform in?
Ooh, my bedroom. No, part of what I wanted to do with my digital drag was to show people around San Francisco, because I knew people, around the country may see it. So I just kind of wanted to highlight really cool areas. So anywhere that's like iconic in San Francisco, I like to perform there.
Very cool. What is your favorite song to perform to?
I did Bang Bang a lot, the Jessie J, Ariana Grande song. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would sing that one because that one like gets the crowd going. Mm-hmm. And it's like sassy, but also fun and fast. So
agreed. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Apple. I haven't bugged her too much, but I'm like, Apple, I have an idea for Bang Bang. So it's a good song. It's a good choice. Mm-hmm. And I've you do it alone.
Yes, I do all 3 parts by myself.
Okay, cool. No, that's not bad. It's a choice. You know, there are so many songs that are group songs or duets, and you shouldn't not do them just because, you know, they're duets or group numbers. Like, you can still do them.
Totally.
It
highlights different ranges of voices, and then like rapping and not rapping. So that's pretty cool.
Different kind of faces that you make when you're performing, different kind of emotions that you're giving off when you're performing.
Totally.
What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
Ooh, I have straight friends. Really weird, right? But they're like, you make a really hot dude. They were like, wow.
Are these
funny.
straight women friends or straight men friends?
Both. I was more surprised about the dudes that would say that to me.
Well,
that are like very hetero, like never been to a drag show, and they're like, whoa.
Maybe they've never been to a drag show, but there's a Kinsey scale, and they just might be, and it's okay. They might just be a click further down than they thought. That's all. Because you're making them see things and feel things that maybe they didn't know.
Exactly.
Who is your favorite LGBTQ activist?
Ooh, I mean, Marsha P. Johnson started it all. So that's the person that comes to mind right off the bat, because we literally wouldn't be here doing what we're doing if it wasn't for her. So,
well, only because it came up on the show. She definitely is the pioneer. But about 100 years before her, there was a drag queen. Before there was the term for drag queens, there was a queen of drag, I think is what the newspaper said, named William Swan. And there's going to be a movie made about it. But if you Google it, you can find that on the internet and read about William Swan.
I would love to learn more. Totally.
What Marsha Johnson did was, it was time for it, you know? And to think there was someone 100 years earlier trying to get there is kind of amazing.
Yeah. Fucking dope.
Both of them, to me, are amazing. What is your favorite item on the gay agenda?
My favorite item on the gay agenda? Well, I had a lot of fun with, let's see. I did a drag thing where it was the poppers, but I put the Lady Gaga song, the Popper 911. So that was fun. So now every time I think of that song, I think of poppers.
Okay, poppers. Which do you think the COVID-19 pandemic has affected more, the straight dating scene or the gay dating scene?
Oh, I think the straights are breaking up and having a hard time dating, and the gays, we're all booed up now. We're like, cool, you're amazing. Let's just get through this together.
Let's nest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Related question. Do you have a favorite sexual position to imagine straights having sex in?
No, probably just like not very interesting. I don't know. Just like
over the
anything
telephone?
That's just kind of settling.
Yeah. Like like 2 different beds. Do you have a favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
Ooh, like drag brunch specifically?
Any brunch, but drag brunch can be a thing that you answer with.
Oh, I mean, I really love when I'm like taking a bite of something during drag brunch, and somebody is staring at me, and I'm like, do I keep eating this or should I put it down? And I'm just like chewing away while making intense eye contact with someone.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good audience participation. What is your favorite sex position if you want to answer?
Ooh, I love a good 69. Classic. Just both helping each other out. It's hot.
Speaking of hot, do you cook or bake?
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
I wish. I'm trying. I did make lemon squares the other day with my lady, and that was really fun.
All right. That's baking. What is your favorite breed of dog?
Ooh. So I was born in Newfoundland, Canada. So I get really excited whenever I see a Newfoundland dog, which are those that they look like bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite breed of dog to wash?
Oh God, not Newfoundlands. I hate washing Newfoundlands. Puppies just kind of, they'll like nervous pee or nervous poop, and that's just really annoying. So just in general, anyone that's gonna poop while I'm trying to get them clean, I'm just not here for.
So any adult that's not a Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Because sometimes when they're extra dirty, it's fun to it's like a mission to get them like clean. But yeah, when they're just like not having it and not cooperating, that's really difficult.
If we're at the bar and someone's buying us shots, what are we drinking?
Fireball.
Yeah, I like that. We're friends. If someone's buying us drinks, what are we drinking?
What are we drinking now?
No. If we're at the bar and someone buys drinks and not shots, what are we drinking?
Ooh, regular drinks. Damn, I'm kind of boring, and I always just get cranberry vodka with a lime.
That's not
It's
boring.
just my go-to.
It's almost a Cosmo, which is my go-to. Also, you could have just said Fireball. That's acceptable too. That could just be your drink. Just big Fireball.
Sipping on it.
Okay, important question. Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Thank you. Oh my God, I can't stand that. I can't stand the indecisive people. Who is your favorite drag queen?
Ooh, my favorite. I got a big crush on Lemon and Bobo from Drag Race Canada right now.
Okay.
I also love like Priscilla Chambers.
Okay. Who's your favorite drag king?
Oh, little Clive. I love Clive and Landon. And I met Adam All in London, and he is a doll. And then for comedy, there's this drag king named Louis Cypher, who's fucking hilarious. Just him on stage, he did an Adele number where he was singing to this girl while feeding her Doritos. I was like, so
yeah,
it's amazing.
I miss performances like that during COVID.
Me too.
Yeah, because you can't do that right now. But what are you most excited to do when this is over and we have a new normal, an old normal, just a normal? What are you excited for?
Ooh, besides like live, I've been going to some live performances, but what am I most excited for? Just to hang out in big groups. I am like very social. I always like invite, 10 to 15 people to go out karaokeing because I'm obsessed with karaoke. So I'm really excited for that.
Right on. That's all my questions, Peter. Thank you so much for coming on. It was really nice to meet you. Please send me links. Please post the things. You already have posted them, but I want anyone that's watching that's just meeting you to get to see these things that you're excited to share.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me. You
Absolutely.
are an angel.
Oh, I don't know if I'd say that, but I am the capper, at least for now, of probably a really great 2 weeks. So maybe it's true.
Maybe you'll stare at me while I'm eating brunch sometime.
Absolutely, I would do that. Yeah, and I'd probably eat something while you were staring at me eating, while you were eating while I was staring at you. Happy birthday! Congratulations, and maybe I'll see you in Sacramento sometime.
I hope so. And hi, Clive. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, take care, Peter.
Bye.
Bye. All right, peers and queers, that was Peter Fromage. Information was, again, always below Peter. You can find Peter's Instagram and Venmo to send some coin. Once again, Stabs is above me, and we might have just hit our first fundraiser idea. Suzette Veneti walks up the hills of San Francisco in her stilettos. I think I can come up with a better name if you give me 20 minutes. What we're going to do, not just brainstorm, we're actually going to go to our next interview. I'm excited. I think he's ready. Let me give him a proper introduction here. He is the host, co-producer, and namesake of the Maxx Drag Show, He also competed on Into the Draglands. He also is taking the drag world in Sacramento at least by storm, and probably everywhere else. That's how storms work. They move around. Give it up for the... I want to come up with something good. He's the sire of shirtlessness. He's a drag daddy. But give it up for Cumulus Clive. That's a cloud. Hey, Clive, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
So, let's start with, I want to talk about your show, but really quick, get it out of the way. Into the Draglands. You're the third contestant we've had on the show. What was it like to be on the show?
It was intense. It was really intense. There was, I mean, getting everything ahead of time and being like, okay, you have to have all this stuff ready, and then you're going to go and you're going to film your 2 different days or whatever, and just like having like almost very little time in between numbers to change and, you know, do whatever you need to do, was really stressful. But it was fun. And I think for me, especially, like just having that opportunity to be like, I've never done anything like this at all. And I was, when we started that, I was still very, very new to drag. I mean, I still am very new to drag, but, it was a challenge, and I was like, I don't know, I'll try. And so, yeah, it was really fun, stressful, but super fun too.
So how new are you to drag?
I'm actually only 1 day older than Peter. So I just had my, drag anniversary on November 4th.
Okay, we'll come back to that. I wrote some questions for that. Would you do another competition show?
Maybe after I wear down and get over the last one. Yeah, probably. I'm super competitive, so yeah, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, I probably would.
Okay. In addition to competing on that show, you host a competition show. So now let's talk about that, because that's kind of the theme for the show today is Maxx Drag Show. We just interviewed Peter Fromage, your season 2 winner. I noticed that your season 2 winner and your season 1 winner, both AFAB performers. What is it important to you to give a platform for performers of all kinds?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's part of the premise of the show, and the reason why we wanted to do it is because, like, everybody's seen Drag Race, and there's so many talented, like, drag things and drag kings that are out there, and we wanted to include everybody and give everybody a chance to show off their stuff. Especially, like, we have a lot of performers that haven't been performing for that long that compete on the show, and people that have been performing for a long time. And so to be able to showcase everyone and all different types of drag is like super, super important to our show, for sure.
Very cool. I mean, you're definitely doing that. What is drag to you?
To me personally, I think drag is a way to express myself and different aspects of who I am that I can't really express like in my everyday life. And I've always been like sort of an artistic person. I have a bachelor's in filmmaking, and so I've done, you know, I like to do filmmaking stuff. I've been drawing since I was a kid. Painting, anything I get my hands on that I could be creative with, I love doing it. And so finding drag and being able to do this was like mind-blowing when I was literally like, I felt like I was in a desert of creativity where I had no place to express myself and no way to do it because I was just working and coming home and working and coming home, and I was just like miserable. And then I found this, and I sat on the idea of doing it because I actually have really bad stage fright.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, like debilitating, like anxiety-ridden stage fright.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, so I sat on this for a few months, and finally I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And I signed up for After Hours, and I had my first performance, and like, I was obsessed.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about After Hours. with Apple Adams and then a couple other performers, and how valuable it is that it exists, because it's a lot of people's, I don't want to say gateway, because that could have a pejorative connotation, I guess. It's a lot of people's opportunity to dip their toe into the world of drag. And so it's so wonderful that that show is a thing, and hopefully that show continues to be a thing after COVID. You, sir, are the, I want to get all this right, so I took it from your Instagram, the Latin trans king of the 916, the drag Sancho.
Yes.
Tell people, just in case, I would be very surprised if anyone watching doesn't know what all that means, but if you can define it in your own words.
To me, it basically means I'm like I could be anybody's like guilty pleasure. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a homewrecker, obviously, but like I'm people like that's part of the allure of drag, is like it's being able to go out and like see these people that are almost like larger than life, that you can like just like not even idol. I don't want to say idolize, but like look at and like feel some type of way about and get excited about and everything like that. And so to me, I'm just like I can't keep a shirt on, you know. I mean, I think this is the most clothes I've worn in a really long time. But
I mean,
like
you can take it off if you want.
I mean, there's not much going on under here. But if I'm gonna be, you know, the daddy of Sacramento, then I want everybody to feel like, I mean, like, you know, Clive, I'm not a homewrecker, but you want to like, you know, we can have a little intimate interaction during my performance for sure.
You're like a home bender.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay, cool. So being a Latin trans king, do you feel an obligation, or maybe not an obligation, because that again has a negative connotation to it. Do you feel motivated to get other trans performers into the world, or Latin performers into the world? Or I mean, I know that you're really like everybody, come one come all, join, but do you feel like do you want I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this. Do you seek out other people to say like, hey, this is okay, you can do this?
I've had some people come to me actually about it and being like, you know, like I want to do drag, but like I don't know where to start or whatever. And I'm like, well, first of all, like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, whatever you want to do, you know what I mean? Like drag is for everybody. So whatever you want to do, whatever your version of it is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have I've kind of started taking on drag children when I only have 2, and I don't really want any more than that.
Who are your drag children?
Yeah. So I kind of share a drag child with Mercury Rising. Mercury Rising's drag child, Faye Kinnett, is my drag son, TJ Maxx.
Well, I mean, that's normal parentage. There's 2 parents, so you're doing it right.
Yeah, I help them along with their drag king aspect, because they want to learn more about king makeup and stuff. So I help them with that. And then my other drag child is my best friend, and their drag name is Von Doll. And they haven't started yet, but we're working on it. So
right on.
Yeah. And they're both non-binary performers, and so I kind of prioritize that as far as like drag children go.
Sure.
Because I want to be able to like offer people more than just like drag advice. So, like if I wanted them to be part of my family, like I want to, you know, be able to give them advice about my life and my experiences, things that I've gone through too. So
absolutely, I have a drag family that I adore, and it's not just here's how you perform. A lot of it is we're similar people, and I need you. So yeah. I get that completely. At times I would feel lost without my drag family, to be honest. And so I'm sure that your drag kids are really grateful. But just 1 year in, how did you decide to be such an early drag daddy?
Well, I had interest in it, and I've always liked teaching people, and I like, you know, helping people learn and showing them, and it's just always been a part of my personality that's existed. And so I wasn't sure if I was ready, which is why I don't want any more, because it's already, I mean, it's a little easier right now because, you know, quarantine and everything like that. It's all pretty much just like text messages and video calls. But yeah, I had a lot of people that were like, yeah, why not? Go for it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because I don't know if I'll ever be a drag parent. I don't know if anyone wants to learn anything that I do, but I think it's really great that you're sharing your experiences and wisdom with people. What is the importance to you of being a trans king? And you said you have non-binary children, so explain the importance of that.
Part of me, for me, it's the visibility. I think there's a lot of people that still like don't really understand or know the trans experience, and so if I'm out there, you know, and that's kind of like my first performance ever, I took my shirt off, and it's kind of just been a thing ever since. And I'm just like, you know, I have had top surgery and I have scars, and it's just kind of like, this is just who I am. And it was probably, I want to say my first performance was like 4 or 5 months after my top surgery. So it's still pretty fresh. But just the visibility of it, I think, is super important. And I think even if this is like the first time they've ever like seen a trans person that they like visually, like, you know what I mean, like know that that's a trans person. And it's not, I carry it as a huge part of my identity. It's not all that I am, but it's a huge part of who I am. And I absolutely wouldn't, like, I've had people ask if you could, you know, if you could go back and if you could pick to be born as a cis male, would you? And I was like, absolutely not, because this has shaped a lot of who I am. And I don't think I'd be anything close to the same person if I was. So just the visibility and sharing that with people, I think is super important. And yeah.
Right on. I completely, we're tackling such serious topics, but you said something that made me want to ask this question. You did take your shirt off in your first performance. You take your shirt off often. Do you ever take your shirt off to reveal another shirt?
I haven't yet, but I actually have a performance in mind where I want to start with no clothes and just put them on.
Oh, I like that. That's fun. I would be here for it if you did one where, you know, like the box inside of the box inside of the box inside of the box. If you just, like, if you took off a shirt and there was like a smaller shirt that you couldn't see from the first shirt, and then you took that off and there was like a smaller shirt that you couldn't see, and then you took that, and it's like just like all of a sudden, like the shirtless daddy is like the shirtful daddy. I don't know if that's a word.
Actually, I completely forgot because I've done this number twice, so I don't know why I didn't remember. And I did it for the finale for Into the Draglands. I actually had like 4 shirts on. I'd take a shirt off and there'd just be another shirt on underneath it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I like it. Either way, put the clothes on, have little shirts on, keep the audience on their toes.
That's right.
I guess they're in. I was gonna make a sock joke about sockless, but I'm gonna move on. Back to the planned questions. Here we go. What have you learned from your year in drag?
Oh gosh. So I've said this probably like a million times too, but I think quarantine is like the best thing that could have ever happened for my drag makeup, because all I have time to do, and especially since I wasn't working at all for 2 weeks around the beginning of it, I just did a face like almost every single day. And I got to like take in more and look at things and like kind of figure my own face out. And so, yeah, like it's the best thing that could have ever happened for my makeup. So I learned how to do makeup. And I wouldn't call myself a professional by any means, but I definitely am a lot better, especially since like back when I was pretending to be female, I never did makeup. So this is like the first time I've like really got into it. And I always think it's kind of funny that I didn't actually start doing makeup until I like fully started living my truth. So
there's an irony. Yeah, I find there's sometimes the irony is magnificent, and I'm glad yours is. You take it with a chuckle and you can laugh at it. What do you wish you knew now? Or no, I'm sorry. What do you wish you knew when you started? What do you wish you knew then that you know now?
How to blend, number 1, probably. Number 2, I would say probably just like how to be more in the moment and be present, like when I'm doing performances, because that's something that I've really like had to learn. And I challenge myself. I try and challenge myself almost every time to like do songs that I normally wouldn't, to like challenge myself to like learn how to dance or dance more, or how to feel a song and like emote without having to move that much. So I kind of wish I knew that a little bit, because honestly, the amount of anxiety I had during my first performance, I don't remember it pretty much at all. I've seen the video, but I don't remember like being there. So
yeah, same with my first time doing stand-up. Don't really recall. No, I was there, seen the video. It's me, but don't really remember doing it. It's not an accessible memory. You said something that made me want to ask another question. If it'll come back to me. I know what it was. I was going to say that's a great answer, because I've never met anybody that was present from the first time they performed an art, and I wonder what it would be like if we could be, present of mind that first time. But like you said, experiences are worth a lot. I mean, you didn't say that, but experiences are worth a lot, and so we get to be who we are because of who we were. So you're really popular for only having done drag a year, given that like 75% of the year has been during a pandemic. What do you attribute that to?
I have no idea. I know when I started, when I was kind of like trying to conceptualize who Clive was going to be, I kind of was just, I would go to after hours all the time, and I was just seeing like what drag kings were like and what they were doing. And I wanted to do something different. And luckily, like, I like to do a lot of like hip hop music and like do some rap and stuff like that. And that's something that's pretty easy for me to lip sync. And so I wanted to do something that I wasn't seeing. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. It all aligns. Because a lot of the kings do like rock music or kind of like some top 40 stuff. But I wanted to do something a little different. So I think that might be something that it's just something that nobody else is really quite doing. That might be a factor. So
I think that's a great answer. Your music choice might have contributed to your not likability, but certainly your visibility.
Oh yeah. I would also, and like on a more serious note, probably attribute a lot of it to also is because I will be the first person to say, and I know you and Peter were talking about a little bit that AFAB performers and drag kings that are AFAB have a lot harder time getting bookings and stuff like that. And I will always be the first person to say that being a trans man, I think, has me at an advantage, because just like in society, like even in the LGBTQ community, it's kind of like run by cis men. And so I think being trans is kind of like an advantage where it just makes it like that much easier for me to get bookings and stuff like that.
Well, even if it is easier, you certainly are backing it up. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking this next question. The next question is, I always ask people who their favorite drag king is, and I need to go back and tabulate the answers, especially because I want to know the percentage of toilet paper users. I don't know if you heard that question. Not toilet paper users, but toilet paper planners. I think like 80 to 90% of my guests in the 31 shows, when asked who their favorite king is, have named you. That's really cool. So I don't really have a question, I guess. I wrote it as a question, but awesome, man. Congrats.
Thank you. It feels great. I love that for me. So
right on. You are part of the illustrious House of More, are you not?
Yes.
How did that happen?
So essentially, I had no idea how to do drag makeup like whatsoever, and I was looking, and I was like, had kind of been friends with Aurora a lot more before I started drag, and so I kind of just reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm performing at After Hours on Monday. can you do my face for me? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't have any makeup. Like, I don't know. And she was like, yeah, no problem, no problem. So I was like, cool. And so she put me in face for the first time. And then she's very, very picky about her drag children, like very picky. And so I kind of was like, well, yeah, technically she's my drag mom. She put me in drag for the first time. But I just kept practicing and performing and performing and performing. And finally, I remember like one day she like finally acknowledged me as her drag child. And I was like, I made it, you know what I mean? She's finally accepted me. And yeah, so that's I kind of just forced my way in there, I guess.
I mean, same. Not with her, but like, you know, a lot of people. I will say we've talked about that before. I don't know if you know Honey LeBronx, but Honey LeBronx is a drag queen and a drag child of Bob, the drag queen. And we said it's really important if you want to learn drag from somebody, you can just ask them. You don't have to say like, because so oftentimes people say, be my drag mom, be my drag dad. And it's like, just ask them how to do something. And if that relationship forms naturally, or in my case or your case, if you worm your way into their heart like a parasite that they can't get rid of with monthly pills, too bad for them. So good for us. Let's see. What does it mean to you to be part of the House of More?
I definitely feel like I have to be on my A game all the time. And I mean, I kind of already am like that to myself about a lot of things. Like I need to be the best I can be. And if I don't feel like I'm doing everything that I can do, then I'm disappointed in myself. So, but that kind of adds to it. Like, I feel like I need to be like on my game. Cause I mean, like every person I know that's in that house is just like, they look fabulous. They're amazing performers. And so I'm like, okay. And I kind of just like look at my drag siblings, like Lotus and Eden, and I'm like, just like, okay, I have to like at least be as much of a presence as they are when they're on stage. So
relatable, at least to me, very relatable. That's not your only kind of access point to drag relationships. You're also dating local icon Apple Adams. What is it like to date another performer?
It's kind of awesome. Like, it's kind of awesome to be like, and yeah, Aurora is my drag mom for sure. But I've also gotten like a lot of tips from Mercury and a lot of help from Apple. And it's just nice to be able to be like, hey, I'm like, have this, idea. Is this dumb? Like, what do you think? Like, I put on a face and be like, should I do something else? Like, what do you think? And just have that advice that's so handy all the time. And just to be able to like, I have this idea, we should do a duet or whatever. And so it's nice to just have that and have someone that understands like how much drag takes over your life and understands like what it is about performing, and like you kind of have to be a flirt, and it's nice to have somebody that knows that it's just part of the persona and there's nothing actually happening. So it's like, I mean, especially I feel bad for Apple, especially for me. It's like taking my shirt off all the time, and I'm always like, people are always coming up to me like, oh my god, you're so hot or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to like brag or anything, but
sure.
It's nice to date another
facts
performer.
Facts are facts. Yeah, well, I mean, I was gonna tease and say Apple a flirt, no, but like, I think that's a really good answer. And I think you, because of work, you had to join the show late, but with one of my comedian friends, we want to do a show where we talk about what's it like to date a performer, an entertainer, because there is a level of understanding that's needed. So you kind of hit that nail right there. You were, and I'm assuming still are, a member of the Apple Corps, which, like, you can fanboy, and I'll fangirl out for a second about Apple. You're dating a local celebrity. Like, how cool is that? Not the fact that she's a local celebrity, but just the fact that she's Apple Adams.
It's awesome. Like, it's awesome. Like, a lot of people tease me. They're like, oh, you're gonna ride her coattails or whatever. But I'm like, it's not even, it's so cool to like, have people that like look up to her so much, and like she's kind of just like such a genuine sweetheart anyway. But I just get like people are like coming up to me like, oh my god, you're my favorite drag queen, and like it makes me like proud. So it's just kind of like a lot of feel good moments. But yeah, it's awesome because I'm like, oh, you're famous.
Well, and they clearly haven't seen her perform if they think that she has coat tails. They're robe tails. She has robe tails. Duh. Not coats. She is awesome, and I genuinely adore Apple Adams, one of my drag aunts, my Auntie Apple. So she is not just my drag aunt, but she's actually Sacramento's fun drag aunt. Does that make you Sacramento's drag uncle?
Well, I mean, I'd rather be Sacramento's daddy. So.
I was gonna say, yeah, because my follow-up to whatever you said is that I always think of you as Sacramento's shirtless daddy. So
I mean, I had to stay on brand today, so
brands are important. Clive, that's all the formal questions I have. Do you have anything you want to mention coming up?
I have a couple things. So I'm going to be a part of a show that's going to be in Vegas, and it's actually streaming too on Twitch. And that is Flex in Las Vegas. I think their Twitch is Flex Las Vegas, I'm pretty sure. And that's coming up, I want to say, in a week or two. And then I'm going to be part of Juliana Budget's Christmas show that she's having. Mm-hmm. And there'll be more info about that later.
Christmas special. I just talked to her today. She would want us to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holiday special.
Holiday special. Yes, you're right. Holiday special. She stressed that.
Yes.
Cool. And people can find these shows on your Instagram?
Yeah, posting all the flyers and everything like that. And I was actually just Austin International Drag Fest is going on this weekend, and I actually was in it yesterday, and that was really awesome. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's just the end of my formal questions. Clive, are you ready for my rapid fire questions?
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Do you have a drag name that you didn't end up using?
Nope, it's just pretty much always been Clive Maxx.
You don't wear a ton of wigs, but when you do you have a favorite wig color?
I have this blonde wig that Apple hates, but I love it because it makes me look like the twinkiest man, and it's this blonde with like the bangs, and oh my gosh, she hates it, and I fucking love that wig so much.
That's a good relationship. You just described a great relationship. That's the kind of person that I want to date. Somebody who hates something that I love. Exactly. But we make it work through perseverance. Do you name your wigs?
No.
What is your favorite recurring show to perform in?
It was After Hours, but I think I probably have the most fun when I was able to do Pride Night. That was really fun.
Very cool. That's DJ Pocket's Pride Night. Virtually or in person, you're saying?
In person.
Right on. Do you have a favorite venue to perform in?
I really like performing at Badlands.
Same. Yeah. What is your favorite song to perform to?
Probably Talk Dirty. I've retired it because I've done it so many times now, but yeah, Jason Derulo is like, he makes like perfect music.
I'm going to go ahead and agree that Jason Derulo makes perfect music, and if I could do Jason Derulo songs, I'd be a very happy person. What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
Probably when people come up to me and they're like, Clive Maxx, I get it. Like when the pun like finally clicks, that's, yeah, I'm like, yeah.
I love when people try to figure my name out. Who is your favorite LGBTQ activist?
I mean, obviously Marsha P. Johnson, but I really also, Alok B. Menon, is probably one of my favorites too.
What's your favorite item on the gay agenda?
Brunch, duh.
It's a good answer, yeah. Which dating scene do you think the COVID-19 pandemic has affected more, the straight or the gay dating scene?
Probably the straights, especially after the CDC was like, yes, glory holes are a go. Then, yeah, I think the straights are really suffering right now.
Yeah, some that came up on the show last time we did it. Someone was like, "Oh no, no blowjobs," and I was like, "No, I think those are okay still because you're not sharing breath air. Dicks don't breathe." Let's see. What is your favorite position to imagine straight people having sex in?
Missionary, just like really boring missionary sex.
It's a little weird asking my auntie's boyfriend this question. If you want to answer, you can. I ask everybody. You can decline. Do you have a favorite sex position?
Oh, I like all of them. I haven't met one I don't like so far.
Oh, that's a good answer. Do you cook or bake?
At work, my civilian job, yes.
Okay. Which one? Both?
Cooking.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay. I like baking. I think that's the first thing we disagreed on. Do you have a least favorite children's show?
At least, I have a child, and he likes this show. It's on YouTube. It's called Blippi, but it's like this grown man acting like a child, and it makes me so uncomfortable. Like, I just hate watching it. And he always wants to watch it, and I just try and distract him. Like, what if we watch something else?
I've been told by a very smart friend of mine that I should do a Blippi number if I ever do a show for kids. And you just confirmed it. Also, I love that when someone is a parent, that question needs no explanation. Just which is your least favorite kid show, and people are like, yeah, no, I got a fucking list. It's right here. I always hate so many of these shows. Conversely, what is your favorite adult show that's disguised as a children's show?
Ooh. Wow. It's so hard because like all the ones I really used to like have become so problematic. But I think I would say probably Rick and Morty is probably my favorite.
Right on. If we're at the bar and someone is buying us drinks, what are we drinking?
Well, it depends. Am I just drinking for fun? Am I drinking to get drunk, or am I drinking to like get wasted? Because I have a level, there's tiers.
I have never been counter-questioned. Go ahead and you just spit your answers out however you wish.
Okay, tier 1 is like, we're just drinking casually, we just want to get a buzz on and have a good time. That's a vodka cran. Okay.
I'm in.
Tier 2, if you want to get drunk, maybe off of 2 of them and be like having a good time, white gummy bears.
Never
if you want to get blacked out, we're drinking black Superman. So.
Okay. I like your 3-tier system. If we're doing shots, what are we shooting?
Vodka.
Oh, what kind?
Anything except what is it? I can't remember what it is. It's Ciroc. I don't like Ciroc.
So you'd rather shoot well vodka than Ciroc?
Oh yeah, I used to get so drunk off of plastic handles of White Wolf vodka. So drunk, and be totally fine the next day. So.
Okay, well, you and Apple have a lot in common. Important question: toilet paper, over or under?
Over. That's the only way.
By the way, you have a lot in common because I can't get Apple to drink anything above well, and I'm like, just no, I'll. It's good. Just trust me. I'll pay the difference. But she likes her well. I'm sorry, I was distracted. You said over on toilet paper?
Oh, over, absolutely.
Yes, okay, you're a good person. Then I don't care. You can drink your well vodka. Who is your favorite drag queen?
Ooh, I think I'm contractually obligated to say Apple Adams. No, I really do love her drag. But also I love Mercury Rising, who is my favorite hot mess. Aurora, she's beautiful and so talented. But also like, as far as like TV fame, drag queens go, I love Sharon Needles, and Evie Oddly.
Okay, very cool. Who's your favorite drag king? Which is interesting because, like I said, you're like 85 to 90% of people's answers here. So I'm going to assume that you're not going to follow suit, but just in case you can, if you want to, I guess.
I'm definitely not my own favorite, but I really, really like Shady. I love their drag so much. Peter, obviously. Peter is like the sweetest person. And I love their drag. Probably also I really like Land Insider, Hugo Girl, who is a New Zealand drag king. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Yeah, I can't remember. But a lot. I have a lot of favorites.
Right on. It's good to have a lot of favorites. Okay, Homebender. Do you think I'm pretty?
Oh, stunning.
Okay.
Stunning.
Thank
Actually,
you.
I was going to ask what you were doing after this.
Oh, hanging out with you, sir. Which is
Yay.
okay because we've hung out during the COVID times, so it's not breaking a social parameter. So yeah, that's what I'm doing after this. Thank you. I'll see you in like a few minutes. Okay. When this is all over, not us seeing each other later, but like the pandemic, new normal, old normal, whatever the normal is, what are you most excited to do?
Hang out with all my friends again, just in one giant group. I really miss that. I miss going out with all my friends to the club, and then after the shows, like we just hang out in the parking lot of Badlands and just talk shit until like 3 a.m.
Oh, in the side parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where that's done. Thank you, Clive, for coming on. It was fun. And you have your show, Maxx Drag Show, is still online?
Yep, absolutely.
And if people want to watch it, where can they find it?
You can find some of the episodes on the Twitch channel. I think it automatically deletes them after a while, but we will also be doing reruns and marathons, and we'll also be doing special shows geared towards one specific performer per show. So we're going to be doing that. So there's definitely going to be a lot going on the Maxx Drag Twitch channel. So definitely check that out. And we're going to kind of expand it out and do other things in the off season. I will actually be doing a Twitch stream on Tuesday on Maxx Drag Show. And we will be, actually Kevin and I will be playing Minecraft, and we are building a replica of Badlands.
Okay. Cool. Make sure that my couch bed is somewhere in there where I sleep.
Yeah.
Other than that, I look forward to seeing you around in like 5 minutes, I mean. And thank you for coming on the show, Clive. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. How are we doing, Jesse? We're going to go with David? Okay. We have time. We'll fit him in. He's I don't know what he's doing now, producing, acting, comic. He's comic sometimes, not very good, if you ask me. David Shapiro.
Suzette, you didn't tell me that the show was off last week.
Oh, sorry.
So I just sat in front of the laptop waiting for you for like 25 minutes in case you forgot to invite me to the virtual green room.
That's what you do anyway. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a life.
Let's finally talk about my White Sox, my favorite baseball team, hiring a terrible person as their manager.
The White Sox?
Yeah, the Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
The White Sox, one of the youngest and most promising teams last year, fired their manager, and they hired, to the surprise of everyone, a 76-year-old Tony La Russa, who has been out of baseball 9 years. And look, you know I love anyone really that's Italian, and I know you love anyone that's Italian.
Yes, given.
But I don't love La Russa. La Russa is like famously against the players having fun. which the White Sox are a young team, and their players have a lot of fun when they play, like bat flips and stuff. That's in vogue now in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
So he's against fun.
That's not good.
He's just this current generation. They like to show emotion when they play, and he's very anti-players showing emotion, but also he's anti-players taking a knee during the national anthem. So he's kind of out of touch as a person. The logic was that the White Sox would hire a younger manager to relate to the younger players, but instead they hired a dinosaur who doesn't believe in data from new statistics, which, to be fair, I think that new managers and executives in baseball are over-reliant on new statistical data when it comes to making in-game decisions. But I'm also not a fan of a racist drunk driver.
Drunk driver?
Yeah, that's right. Tony La Russa was charged with a DUI stemming from a February incident where an officer came alongside La Russa, who was standing next to his car, which had run into a curb. The officer smelled alcohol, not on his breath, but on his person, which means you've been drinking a lot. And he asked for a sobriety test, and La Russa flashed his World Series ring and said, "Did you see my ring?" And then proclaimed that he was a Hall of Fame baseball person. All right, look, dummy. Not you, Suzette, La Russa. I mean, I don't know. I'd call you a dummy too. But La Russa, that's who I'm talking to. Look, dummy. If you've been drinking and you've run into a curb, I don't want to help anybody here, but and you smell like alcohol, don't stand there. Call AAA and go inside of a business and wait for the tow. Better yet, call AA, because this is your second DUI, Tony La Russa. What are you doing? Anyway, then, like I said, he flashed his ring. Seriously, who flashes a World Series ring? Who wears a championship ring? Those things are they're like grapefruits on your finger, like this glass. They're like that. They're massive. Who wears those things? I would love to be a World Series champion.
You're not.
I would not wear my ring. Not everywhere. Maybe once in a while. I don't know, if I was going to a team function or something. But I wouldn't wear it just out drunk driving. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to go drunk drive. Better put on my ring in case I get pulled over. What is that? Why would you... And then flashing it? Seriously? You don't need to flash those things. They're massive. Then he called himself a... sorry, I want to get this right. A Hall of Fame baseball person? Who puts it like that? You're a Hall of Fame manager, sir. Say that. Are you trying to incorporate your playing days? Because you weren't a very good player, so just Hall of Fame baseball manager would have worked. Anyway, he refused a DUI test, a blood test. He was a Hall of Fame jerk, is what he was. But the police got a warrant for his blood. And bloop, it was higher than .08. Check it out. Which is interesting because he got a DUI back in 2007 in Jupiter, Florida, when he tested at a .093. And back then, 13 years ago, he said, "I accept full responsibility for my conduct and assure everyone that I have learned a very valuable lesson and that this will never occur again." Look, it happened again. So he's a racist, a drunk driver, and a liar. Gross.
Well, I see. You have feelings.
And look, my favorite baseball person of all time, he likes this hire, which is, I don't even know what to think about that.
Ozzie
Guillen. In my opinion, that is my favorite baseball player and manager of all time. He did both. He was good at both, actually. He thinks that this is a good hire. He should have been hired. This is a terrible hire. Free agents across the league are saying that they don't even want to take a meeting with the White Sox, which, that tells you something. This is a fun young team. This team had, let me make sure I get this right, 3 Silver Sluggers, 1 Gold Glove winner, and the MVP of the American League. And now, leading their team, drunkenly driving their team, they have Captain Racist No Fun. This sucks.
Work on that.
As a White Sox fan, it sucks.
Yeah, well,
Tim Anderson said he's not changing his playing style, which I'm glad about because I like Tim Anderson, and I'm rooting for Tim Anderson. I don't know how not to root for La Russa. I haven't figured that out yet, how I can root against the manager, but root for the team. But I don't want to root for a drunk driving, racist, no fun, lying, grandmother-looking manager.
There it was.
Yeah. I just don't want to.
Well, that's a lot not happening in your world, David.
Do I have Thanksgiving plans? No, I don't have any Thanksgiving plans. Just gonna stay around here. What about you, Suzette? Do you have any Thanksgiving plans? Are you going home for Thanksgiving?
No, I'm just gonna stay in Sacramento.
Oh, well, okay. I mean, I'll be here and you'll be here. So, do you want to hang out? And I want to preface to your viewers that you and I spend a lot of time together. A lot, actually. So it wouldn't be like socially irresponsible if we hung out for Thanksgiving. It's not like seeing family members you don't usually see. Like I generally see you, I don't know what, like 7 days a week. Sometimes like 6 days a week at least.
6.
I think I see you.
Yeah. I need a day
off. I don't know. Do you want to hang out for Thanksgiving?
No.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Well, have a good holiday, David. Be safe.
Okay, yeah, you have a good holiday too, Suzette. Oh, hey, you know what? Really quick, I wanted to talk about everyone hates Thanksgiving, and that's okay because the holiday has its really weird origins that we don't agree with anymore. And by weird, I mean devastating to a culture that was already here, and we celebrate that.
We do.
It's okay to celebrate harvest. People can do that. As a Jew, we have Sukkot, which is the celebrating basically the same thing. It's just celebrating the harvest, and so that's okay to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just wanted to shout out Sukkot. Really, I think Jewish holidays, Hanukkah dominates, and that's okay. But there's so many good Jewish holidays, so I just wanted to shout out Sukkot, for being basically a better Thanksgiving than Thanksgiving was, long before Thanksgiving was a holiday. Also, not the right time of year, but Purim is probably the best holiday there ever has been. Purim is, so I'll just tell you how it's celebrated. There's a story that there's a Jewish queen, and she was the beloved, but no one knew she was Jewish. The king married her, and I guess she didn't have a really Jewish look about her. Take that however you will, because no one knew she was Jewish, right? So he married her, and then he had like an evil Jafar-like vizier who was like, we hate the Jews, let's kill all the Jews, right? Because it was like that time of the year for people to hate the Jews. And then the queen was like, I have to tell everyone I'm Jewish. And so she did, and she risked her life doing that because they wanted to kill all the Jews. And the people of the kingdom were like, what? This is crazy. We love the queen. We have to love... If we love the queen, Jews can't be bad. The bad guy is the evil, like Jafar, like vizier, whose name was Haman. So anyway, when you hear this story, when you're growing up and you're young and you're, hearing the story... Even when you're old and you're hearing the story, when they say Haman's name, you have a noisemaker and you spin it around and it makes noise because like you don't want to hear his name. And then you eat hats, the cookies that are shaped like Haman's hat, which was like a tricone hat. And you eat, and there's usually like some kind of jelly in the middle. I don't like them personally. Chocolate I would dig, but you eat these hats because you're defeating him by eating his hat, which is weird. I wonder if in like 2,000 years we'll eat like little mustaches, to celebrate that victory. But anyway, you spin the noisemakers and you eat the hats and you get drunk as fuck. That's how you celebrate Purim, which is way cooler than any holiday there is. That's a cool holiday. It has everything. It has a bad guy. It has cookies. You get drunk, and there's a cool, uplifting story. I don't know what holidays like that, really. None, except Purim. Anyway, that's not happening. That's not this time of year. Sukkot is around this time of year, which makes sense because it's about the harvest. And I just wanted to shout out the Jewish holidays. So, because everyone just knows Hanukkah. So, anyway, sorry. And, yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on.
You too, Suzette.
Yeah, love you. Bye.
You have a good holiday.
Without you.
And talk to you whenever. Next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Except I'll see you before then, just not on Thanksgiving. All right. Bye.
Okay, bye. That's the show for today, November 22nd. Stab Comedy Theater above me. David Shapiro's information was below him. You can catch us next week with Andrew Orlafo, and we'll be back at 5:03. So check us out then. All right, take care.
Shit and ooh, I love it, yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fun. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make it right. Hot mess, and I'm falling for you, and I'm like, hot damn, let me make you my boo. 'Cause you can shake it, shake it, shake it, yeah, you know.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel